Hey there. So I've been working on a collection of framer snippets over the past year, and I thought I'd make a little video to show you kind of how I use them, since I don't think it's maybe the traditional way necessarily people would think about snippets. But showing them in a video format would just be a little easier. So the demo we're going to try to make today is just like a simple action button thing that's got some animation and some property changes, and then it like triggers some text to become opaque. So that's basically what we're aiming to do. We're going to try to do it mostly with the snippets and do it pretty rapidly. Okay, cool. So we've got a blank canvas here. I'll go into snippets. The first snippet I'm going to use is actually from devices. It's the canvas color. That's actually included with Framer as part of the snippets to get you started. I'm just going to use that default background color. And then I want to create a layer for what will be the button, the image. So I just started a layer A, and I'm going to add a bunch of stuff to it to start giving it some styling. So down here are like the custom snippets. After you install them in your framer, you'll see them all here, and they're grouped out kind of by like category. They're kind of pretty similar to the way the docs are laid out. So if you're familiar with reading the docs, you could kind of say like, I'm looking for a layer property. Here's some stuff here. I'm looking into state. There's some stuff. Actions is sort of like something you also might find in there. So layer properties. First thing I'll add is a background because the image I'm using is a transparent PNG, so I need a background for it as well. Our layer will need a border, so I can just add a border. It's also going to need an image, which we will add in a minute. It will also need a drop shadow, and we want it to be a circle actually, so there's actually a snippet for that. You can just make a square a circle. Finally, we want our layer always to be centered, so whoops, I just chose the circle again. Centered. Cool. So that means the layer will always be centered in the canvas. Cool. So for the image, we will go into our Framer folder and choose images. I've got the image right here, and I'll just drop it in there. So now it should be available from Framer when I type images, make PNG. Oh, we got our, I also want the border to be a little smaller. Groovy. And yeah, like you can customize any of this stuff along the way. It just so happens that my demo does not have very much customization. Cool, so we've got our first layer done. Now we want our second layer, which is going to be a text layer. So we'll create that layer. We want that layer to have a transparent background, so we can just do that right there. What do we want to do with layer B? We want layer B to be text, so we want to go into layer properties and add some HTML. This is going to give us the ability to add text to it. So I'll select that text, and I have the text pre-written over here so we can quickly copy and paste it in. Layer B text is in there now. Some other things we want to do with layer B is we want to center this again, basically, because the canvas is going to be different sizes for different scenarios. So we're going to add a little code that will give it its vertical alignment, but it'll always be horizontally centered and start from vertical center. Okay, cool. We want to give this layer some styling now. So we'll go into layer properties and add a style snippet. It's got some stuff in here pre-filled out, like background color, although we already made our background transparent for the layer. So really the first thing that's important to us is adding centered text. So we can just add text align and center it. You'll see like these style tags are the same as they would be in CSS. They're just camel cased. So text hyphen align is actually text capital A align. Border radius, border hyphen radius is border capital R radius. That's the way stuff works with the framer styles in CoffeeScript. Once you get it, it's pretty simple if you know CSS already. Cool. So the things I want to do here is add a little font weight. Make that 700. And I also want the font size to be, I wrote this down, 48 pixels. Cool. I also want this layer to be a little wider so the text isn't wrapping and stuff. We'll do like 400. And then I'm just going to manually adjust the height to be like about what it should be. Cool. If I reload it centered, great. So now we need another layer for that other text. So I'm just going to copy all this stuff because this next layer is remarkably similar with different styling and text. So I'll switch back. I'll grab that other text. Text being, May is a scientist who has taken the fight to preserve the environment into her own hands. Very noble cause. I'm going to reduce the weight of that text. I'm going to reduce the size of that text. And I also have to give it some line height because it's going to wrap. Cool. And I'm not positioning these yet, but I'll explain why in a bit. Okay, cool. So now we can kind of position them. I'm going to, when the button itself actually expands, I want it to expand from the bottom center up. So we can position these relative to the bottom of the button before we actually create the other state of the button. So layer B vertical Y should equal layer B's Y plus, I think it's like 160 or something. Oops. Got an error down here. I don't know these. Oh, I see what I did. I never changed all these to be layer C. Damn. I'm trying to do this very nice demo and I screwed you up. Okay, cool. There you go. Layer C. I'll do 212. Beautiful alignment. Okay, cool. So next thing I'll do is I want to fold all this down as setup for our file. I don't really want to look at this after this point too much, so I'm just going to move it out of the way. So you can fold code using command return, and it'll give you a little fold, which is super nice. So the next thing we need to do is set up the states of the button. This is pretty cool. Got some snippets in here for this too. I can go to states and I want to define the states. So layer A, state A, layer A, state B. These are actually predefined. Just ironically, it works as this is a binary button. And then one other section I want to set up is the action. So that's when I click on the button. So I've got a snippet for actions click, layer A, click, should cause me to change state or cycle through the states. So state cycle. I'm gonna make this work. Cool. So now when I click the button, it's actually cycling between the states. One other thing I want to do is set up the animation between the states. So I can go back to the states snippets and choose animation options. Move that to this section over here. And I want to create a curve that's a little quicker than that one. I have one for generic quick. It's a spring. You pop that in there and it will be a rapid little change. Pop. I like that better. So I think I got my states. Well, one thing is I want the button to pop up from the center or middle. So there's just a little bit of math we need to do here for a second. Want the Y to be layer A minus 100, layer A X, I mean, minus 100, and Y I want it to move layer A Y minus 200. and then I want it to return to its original position when I am in the other state, state B. There, cool. Just moving back and forth between those two. Nice. So I can fold down the states area, and there's a little more to the action now. So when I'm tapping between the two states of the button, I want the text to appear or disappear. I'm going to go back to the setup area because I want these initially to be not opaque. So I just do a layer opacity, opaque. Cool. And now I have a snippet for this one too, which is if the current state name is, then do something. So if layer A state name currently is A, I can give layer B opacity. I also want to give layer C opacity at that exact same time. We can test this real quick. Pop, they become opaque. That's cool. And then because it's only two states, I just do an else here, and I want these to basically be not opaque when it is not in the state of A. So done. We figured it out. I'll fold this area down as well. You have a nice clean document that everyone's happy with. Cool. I think that's about it. Thank you for watching this. You can download the snippets. I'll put them in the description below. I update them fairly regularly, so you might want to follow the repository or just check in occasionally because I'm always adding new ones and sometimes fixing old ones to make them better. If you like this kind of stuff, I think I'm going to try to make some more videos. I think it's a pretty good way to describe workflow, and I have a couple Framer videos I really want to make about like complex workflows between Sketch and Framer and how to like work quickly between them. And I think I'll try to put them on this channel. Otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter. I'll post anything I do there as well. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. Cheers.